Alright, Pretend here, with them just being about a little over a day until 2.4 is finally here. Along with it will be the new path for March 7th. I'm finally here with the full build guide for the new Imaginary Hunt March 7th. Just like my other build guides, this is going to be taking you over her kit, Eidolons, Lightcone recommendations, Relic recommendations, along with stats that you'd want. I have a build guide for every single 2.4 character that's new and rerunning, so new being Yunli and Xiaochu. Both build guides are out, and rerun wise being Po and Sparkle that you can also check out. So if you are interested and you're going to be summoning for any of the characters, definitely make sure to check those out so you know what to do. And yeah, that's all I gotta say before I get to the video. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this. Let's get straight into it. So this new March 7th is a imaginary character following the path of Hunt. Her basic attack deals imaginary damage equal to 100% of March 7th's attack to a single enemy and gains 1 point of charge. Her skill designates a single ally excluding this unit as Shifu and increases the Shifu's speed by 10%. Only the most recent target of March 7th's skill is considered as Shifu. When using basic attack or dealing one hit of enhanced basic attack's damage, triggers the corresponding effect based on the path of the Shifu. Erudition, Destruction, or the Hunt deals additional damage based on the Shifu's combat type, equal to 20% of March 7th's attack. Harmony, Nihility, Preservation, and Abundance increases the toughness reduction of the instance of damage by 100%. Her ultimate deals imaginary damage equal to 240% of March 7th's attack to a single target enemy, increases the initial hits per action of the next enhanced basic attack by 2, and increases the fixed chance of additionally dealing damage by 20%. Her talent: after Shifu uses an attack or ultimate, March 7th gains 1 point of charge each time. Upon reaching 7 or more points of charge, March 7th immediately takes action and increases the damage she deals by 80%. Her basic attack gets enhanced and her skill cannot be used. After using the enhanced basic attack, consumes 7 points of charge. Charge is capped at 10 points. And now for the enhanced basic attack, initially deals 3 hits, each causing imaginary damage equal to 80% of March 7th's attack to a single target enemy. After dealing the final hit, there is a 60% fixed chance to deal 1 extra hit up to a maximum of 3 extra hits. Energy regenerated from the enhanced basic attack does not increase with the number of hits. Enhanced basic attack cannot recover skill points. Her technique: if March 7th is on the team, she gains 1 point of charge at the start of the next battle whenever an ally uses the technique, up to a maximum of 3 points. After using technique, March 7th regenerates 30 energy when the battle starts. For her bonus traces, her A2, when the battle starts, March 7th's action is advanced forward by 25%. Her A4, March 7th can reduce the toughness of enemies whose weakness type is the same as Shifu's combat type. When breaking weakness, triggers the imaginary weakness break effect, so imprisonment. And her A6, after using enhanced basic attack, increases Shifu's crit damage by 60% and break effect by 36%, lasting for 2 turns. Moving on to her Eidolons, her E1, when Shifu is on the field, increases March 7th's speed by 10%. Her E2, after Shifu uses a basic attack or skill to attack an enemy target, March 7th immediately launches a follow-up attack and deals imaginary damage equal to 60% of March 7th's attack to the primary target of this attack. Additionally, triggers the corresponding effect based on the Shifu's path and then gains 1 point of charge. If there is no primary target available to attack, then attacks a single random enemy instead. This effect can only trigger once per turn. Her E4, at the start of the turn, regenerates 5 energy. And her E6, after using the ultimate, increases the crit damage dealt by the next enhanced basic attack by 50%. And now, moving on to some good options for March 7th's Lightcones. A really good option is actually going to be Zele's signature Lightcone, giving you an 18% increase to crit rate, and while the wearer is in battle, for every 10 speed that exceeds 100, increases damage dealt by basic attack and skill by 6%, and at the same time, increases crit damage by the ultimate by 12%, and can stack up to 6 times. So you need 160 speed to get the full use out of this. Even if you are not able to get 160 speed, this Lightcone is still going to be very good. Her skill obviously not doing damage, but this is also benefiting her basic attack and her ultimate, which both do damage, and is also giving you an 18% crit rate on top of that, which is a very nice amount. Because she is a DPS, you're still going to want your March to crit, so you're getting a very nice buff out of this. Since you are also going to be building March with speed, as I mentioned, even if you can't get the full 160 speed, getting something like 130, 140, 150, you're still going to be getting a good amount from the bonuses, so this Lightcone is a very good option. Now the next 2 options I'm going to talk about are 5 stars, and they are mainly for when you do have the E2, because the E2 does give her a follow-up attack. And the first one is going to be Dr. Ratio signature Lightcone, giving a 20% increase to crit damage, and for every debuff on the enemy target, the wearer's crit damage dealt against this target additionally increases by 8%, stacking up to 3 times. When using ultimate to attack an enemy target, the wearer receives the Disputation effect, which increases damage dealt by 36% and enables the follow-up attack to clear 24% of the target's defense, lasting for 2 turns. So getting the 20% increase to crit damage is going to be nice, and the more debuffs they have, the more crit damage you'll be dealing towards them, going up to 3 times. So pairing her with another debuff character is going to be really good. And then when you do use your ultimate, they receive the disputation effect, making just any sort of damage they receive to be increased, because you're getting a 36% increase to damage dealt. And that follow-up attack you do from the E2 is going to do even more damage because it is now ignoring 24% of their defense, which is going to be really good. So this Lightcone is another really good option. And then the other option is Topaz's signature Lightcone, giving you an 18% increase to crit rate and increasing the damage dealt by follow-up attacks by 30%. After the wearer uses a follow-up attack, inflicts the target with the tame state, stacking up to 2 times. When allies hit enemy targets under the tame state, each tame stack increases crit damage dealt by 12%. So again, with the E2 now enabling follow-up attacks, you are going to be able to have the ability to inflict them with the tame state via that follow-up attack, and you are benefiting the damage that she will do towards them because you're making them take increased crit damage, and you're also going to be benefiting anyone else on the team that's going to be doing damage towards them as well. Not only that, you're also getting an 18% increase to crit rate, which again is very good, and you're also increasing the damage dealt by your own follow-up attack, or I guess March 7's follow-up attack, by 30%, which is also very, very good. So this is another good Lightcone option. And now the next option I'm going to talk about is a free-to-play Lightcone, and past this Lightcone is also going to be nothing but 4 stars, so everything I'm going to talk about from now is going to be displayed as 5. And the next Lightcone I'm going to talk about is the free-to-play Herder's Shop Lightcone, giving you a 16% increase to crit rate, and increases their crit rate against enemies with HP less than or equal to 50% by an extra 16%. When the wearer defeats an enemy, their attack is increased by 40% for 2 turns. So this is just a nice little crit rate stick. 16% on its own is also really good, and if they have 50% or lower HP, you get an additional 16%, so 32% crit rate, which is really, really good. And if you're able to get your march to defeat an enemy, you get a 40% increase to attack. And you're going to want to get that because then now you're increasing your damage. But even if you can't, if you're able to get most of the crit rate, it's going to be nice. But if you can't have the 50% or lower enemies, so you get the full crit rate, or you're not able to actually defeat an enemy to get the 40% attack, then this Lightcone loses a lot of value. But if you're able to do one or the other, it's going to be pretty good. And if you're able to do both, it's going to be really good. So this is another Lightcone that can be really good. A good 4-star option is going to be the River Flows in Spring. What it does is after entering battle, increases the wearer's speed by 12% and damage by 24%. When the wearer takes damage, this effect will disappear. This effect will resume after the end of the wearer's next turn. So this is a Lightcone that is just benefiting 2 things that March likes. It's going to be giving you speed, which March likes, and you're going to be getting a damage increase. But the only drawback is you do not want your March to get hit, so it'd be best to pair her with someone that is like a shielder, so Jeopard or Aventurine, just to make sure you don't actually lose the effect. Because if you lose the effect, it's practically like you're just getting some bonus stats and that's it. So if you are able to avoid getting hit, this Lightcone becomes good. And then another good option is going to be Final Victor, giving you a 20% increase in attack, and when the wearer lands a crit hit on the enemy, gains 1 stack of good fortune. This can stack up to 4 times, and every stack of good fortune increases the wearer's crit damage by 12%. Good fortune will be removed at the end of the wearer's turn. So thanks to March's enhanced basic attack and also giving her a whole action, she's able to get some stacks off this, and you're also getting the 20% attack bonus. While it might not be as powerful as the other options, combining the follow-up attack you're able to do and combining the ability to have a full turn with the enhanced basic attack, you're able to get a good amount of stacks off this Lightcone, enabling you to do pretty good damage. So this is also another good option you can use. And now moving on to the relic portion of this video. Overall, a really good set for this March 7th is going to be 4-piece of Musketeers. The 2-piece giving you a 12% attack increase, and the 4-piece giving you a 6% increase to speed, and also increasing the damage dealt by the basic attack by 10%. She does do damage with the E2 via a follow-up attack, and she also does damage on her ult, but her main source and biggest source of damage is going to be off her enhanced basic attack. And so this is going to be giving you a nice 10% bonus to that damage. You're also benefiting a lot from the 6% speed that it gives, and then the 2-piece giving you 12% more attack benefits all kinds of damage. So this overall is going to be a really, really good relic set to use. You could also take 2-piece of the Musketeers for the attack percent, same thing as the dot set or the soaring set because they both have the same 2-piece. And then combining that with 2-piece of the imaginary set, the 2-piece imaginary set giving you 10% imaginary damage, because she will be dealing imaginary damage, so you're getting a benefit from the attack percent, and now you're also getting benefit from the 10% imaginary damage. So that's another good option you can do. You could also do 4-piece imaginary. I don't recommend it, because for the most part, March is not going to consistently have everyone under imprisonment. And when you're attacking debuff enemies, you get a crit rate increase by 10%, which is good, and then a 20% increase in crit damage against imprisoned enemies. The debuff part you can get, but imprisoned enemy parts, it's not like you're Welt who's able to do it off just the ultimate. You're going to have to actually work towards getting that imprisonment. And for the most part, it's not going to be worth it compared to just running 2-piece Imaginary, 2-piece of Musketeers, or 4-piece Musketeers. So I wouldn't recommend it, but if you have some pieces, you can do it. And then the last Relic set I want to talk about is the debuff set. The 4-piece is actually possible if you do run another character that is able to inflict debuffs. The 2-piece increasing damage up to enemies with debuffs by 12%, and the 4-piece giving you a 4% crit rate increase, and the wearer deals 8%/12% increased crit damage to enemies with at least 2/3 debuffs. After the wearer inflicts a debuff on enemy targets, the aforementioned effects increase by 100%, lasting for 1 turn. So if you are able to get the aforementioned effect increase, this does become the best for damage. The only problem is the only source of the debuff she can inflict is VIA breaking for imprisonment. So if you're able to proc that, this does become viable, but you are going to be needing to run another debuffer in order to get enough debuffs to have it happen. And then you're also going to need to apply the imprison in order to get the effect actually proc. So this relic set is a little bit on the more iffy side. It's going to be the best for damage if you're able to have it up, obviously. But for the most part, you might not be able to get it up consistently, so it's overall, I wouldn't recommend it. And I'd personally just stick to 4-piece Musketeers or 2-piece Musketeers and 2-piece Imaginary. But if you're able to have a setup where it is possible, then this becomes the best for her damage. For the Planet Ornaments, a really good one for her is going to be Brutal in Arena, giving you an 8% crit rate increase, and when you do have 70% crit rate or higher, getting a 20% increase to basic attack and skill damage. As I mentioned, basic attack is going to be her best source of damage, and so getting a 20% increase to that is going to buff that even further, so this is a really good relic set you can use for the ornament. Another really good relic set for her is going to be Glamoth, giving you a 12% increase to attack, and when you have 135/160 speed, you deal 12%/18% more damage. So this one is going to benefit her damage overall, the follow-up attacks, ultimate, enhanced basic attack, just anything she does, because the attack percent is going to be benefiting, and if you have 135 speed or higher, which on this merch you always will, you get the 12% damage increase, and if you're able to up that to 160, it becomes 18%, making it the best for damage. You won't always be able to have 160 unless you have really good rolls or you're running it with someone like Rule Mates above speed, but even with 135 speed, it's going to be a really good option. Another good option is going to be Inertial Solo, giving you an 8% increase to crit rate, and when you do have 50% or higher crit rate, damage up by ultimate and follow-up attack increases by 15%. So it pretty much is buffing what the Brutal in Arena doesn't. It doesn't buff the enhanced basic attack, but the ultimate can do damage and you have a follow-up via the E2, so you're buffing both damages there, so this is also another option you can use. And now another more situational ornament set is going to be Izumo, giving you a 12% increase to attack, and when someone else on the team follows the same path as the wearer gains a 12% crit rate increase. So this one you obviously are going to need another character to follow the path of Hunt, so if you're running here with someone like Topaz or Ratio or Zele or whatever, then this becomes viable because you're able to actually get it, because otherwise it's just a 12% increase to attack, so it's not really that good. But again, if you are running here with another Hunt character, then you're able to use the set. And now another little more situational one is actually the Durin set. Whenever an ally, including her, uses a follow-up attack, they gain a stack of merit, stacking up to 5 times. Each stack of merit increases follow-up damage by 5%, and when there are 5 stacks, additionally increases the wearer's crit damage by 25%. If you are running this set, I would recommend only doing it if you are running her with another follow-up character, again, such as Topaz, Ratio, just anyone that could sort of help her build up the stacks. Otherwise, it might be a bit slow. And the reason I mentioned this one is because it is also buffing your crit damage by 25%, which will also buff her overall damage. So it's not just focused on the 25% increase to follow-up damage, because again, when you do have 5 stacks, you increase crit damage by 25%, so that's also going to be buffing her overall damage. But again, I would only recommend this if you are pairing her with another follow-up character. And then the last ornament is everyone's favorite, Space Ceiling Station, giving you a 12% increase to attack percent, and when the wearer's speed reaches 120 or higher, the wearer's attack increases by an extra 12%, so it's practically just a free 24% attack bonus. For the main stats on the relics, for the body, you want crit rate or crit damage corresponding to which one you need more. For the feet, you want speed. For the orb, you want imaginary damage. And for the link rope, you want attack percent. And for the substats, you want to get enough speed to where you can actually hit breakpoint. Past breakpoint, you just want to focus on your regular DPS stats, crit rate, crit damage, attack percent. Since she is mainly another character doing damage, that's all you really gotta focus on. So once again, get speed, hit breakpoint, and then past that, crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, just your regular DPS rolls. And yeah, that is the full build guide for the new Imaginary Hunt March 7th. Let me know if you guys are gonna be building her, because she is really, really good from what it seems. I would also love to build it right away, but I have to focus on pre-farming Yunli first. But the moment I'm done that, I'm definitely gonna straight to getting her up, because I really want to try multiple teams with her. So again, let me know if you guys will be building her and what you're gonna be doing. Hope you guys found the guide helpful. Peace out.